Happy New Year, everybody! Thank you so much for all the kindness and support and love that you showed Nate and I over 2023. We greatly, truly appreciate all of you and all your love. So I wanted to come on and share a little bit about what's going to be new in 2024, a few things that we have coming up. But before we begin, today is the last day to get 60% off any or all of our recipe ebooks and informational ebooks as well. 60% off only happens twice a year. It happens on Black Friday and right now for New Year's. So if you wanted to get any of our ebooks, the wraps, the burgers, the tacos, anything like that, the 60% off code RAWFOOD60 will only be available until midnight New York time, January 1st today. So head on over to the link in my bio or in the description if you're watching on YouTube and grab it before that discount is gone. After tonight, it'll be 40% off with code RAWFOOD40. So you can still get a great discount. You can still get the ebooks at a great price using code RAWFOOD40, but that will be after today, after January 1st. So I'm here if you have any questions at all about the wraps, about the recipes, about raw food, about anything, please post in the chat below. I would be more than happy to share with you. I see here Rainbows dropping, just purchased the hand salads ebook. I'm so excited for you to try some of those wraps. They are game changing. They've been so important in our diet this year, especially for traveling and for making food in advance, because you can make them in advance and fill them with, like not super wet ingredients. Like you don't want to fill them with like tons of tomatoes and cucumbers and pickles. Otherwise they'd be a little soggy the next day, but you can fill them with all kinds of delicious raw plant foods and have some awesome wraps. So again, any questions, feel free to post in the chat. Anna has a question. Have a hard time meeting my calorie deficit because I'm scared to eat due to my flare-ups. Can you help? So this would definitely be more of a DM kind of a question where I can dive a little bit deeper into what you're eating, what your goals are, what you're trying to do. But I personally don't believe in calorie deficit necessarily, because I think that we are already stuck in diet culture and we're already eating way too little when we are trying to cut our calories. When you're eating the proper foods and you're eating high fiber plants, you don't need to calorie restrict. It's like the reason why people are calorie restricting is because they're eating the wrong kinds of foods that's forcing them into that, which isn't ideal anyways. So I feel like having an appropriate amount of calories for your body needs and activity level is the most ideal. And studies have shown that when you're eating the appropriate amount of calories for your body and activity level, that's where the longevity happens. It's not in restricting your calories, it's in eating an appropriate amount of them. So if you have any other questions, send me a DM, give me a little bit more details, and we can go into more details in the private message section. And I help people in the DMs. I'm more than happy if you have a question that you want to send me. I am super happy to help to the best of my abilities, obviously, in the direct messages. That's where I spend a huge amount of my time, actually hours a day, helping people for free in the DMs. That's my passion. That's what I am so excited to do. And so I thank everybody who has purchased or will purchase our ebooks, because that allows me to continue to do all the free coaching that I do in the DMs. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How do you make your bread wrap? What ingredients and how do you cook it? Well, for one, it's not cooked. It's actually dehydrated. And in my hand salads wrap ebook, which you can get by following the link in my bio or in the description box if you're watching on YouTube, the hand salads ebook has 34 different wrap recipes, all different kinds of flavors. So they're just basically a blend of fruits, vegetables, a little psyllium husk, and some chia or flax seeds ground up. They're blended and then poured into these special dehydrator trays, which you can DM me for the link if you want. The link is also in the ebook. All the tools that you'll need, links are in the ebook as well. And then it's just dehydrated. So it's basically just dehydrated fruits and vegetables and high fiber. And that's how I make the wraps, and you can get the recipes in the hand salads book. But yeah, they're not cooked, they're dried. So they are raw, they're high fiber, they're delicious. They're kind of like, they have the consistency of like a thicker pita, but it's like onion bread, kind of onion flatbread pita. But it's a little different too. It's not exactly like a pita, obviously, because it's not made from grains or flours, but they're so good. Like, you have to try it to understand. I've had thousands of people messaging me, sharing pictures of the wraps they've made from my recipes, and I love seeing the recipes. So if you make the wraps, tag me, because many times I do share in my stories. So I'm more than happy to see what you've made. I want a breakfast-like wrap for breakfast. Any suggestions? Well, I do, in the Hand Salads ebook, have the coconut breakfast burrito. The reason it's called coconut breakfast burrito is because I use young coconut in the quiche patties that go into the wrap. The wrap itself is not made with coconut. Only the quiche patties that you can put inside are made with coconut if you choose to make those for that wrap. But there's also marinated sunchokes that are kind of like, would be, the raw version of the potatoes that you might put into a breakfast burrito. But that's my breakfasty wrap. And I do want to make a dessert book, probably in the future, not planned for 2024, but I do want to make a low-fat dessert book that will have more dessert type style wraps in it, sweeter wraps, more breakfast style sweet wraps, that kind of thing. But yeah, the breakfast burrito one is a really good one for breakfast. We like to sometimes make the quiche and just have those if we were looking for a savory breakfast. So yeah, I actually like real books. Do you have any hardcover books or something like that? Thank you for asking, Anna. I do have print versions, and that's one thing that I wanted to share today on the live is the Hand Salads wrap book is currently in print, and you can get it on Amazon. So here's the print version of the wrap book. All the yummy, yummy wrap recipes are in this book, and it's available in print on Amazon. If you want the link is in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. You can get the hand salads, the burger book, the meal plans, the soup book. I think I have the winter book. There's a few that are in print right now on Amazon, and the hand salads book is one of them. So head over there and check it out. Again, link in my bio. Just scroll to the bottom. They're all in pink. Or you can send me a DM. If you want the direct link in direct message, send me a DM. Say, I'd like the link for the print versions, and I'll send you a list of all the print versions that we have on Amazon. So you can get some. Not all of our books are in print. Only some of them are. Just because, like, the taco one will never go to print because there's only 15 recipes in there and it's a smaller ebook, so it doesn't really justify going to print. But most of the bigger popular books are all in print on Amazon, so you can head on over there and check those out. I think last I checked, Amazon had the Hand Salads wrap book 7% off. I have no control over what Amazon charges for the books or what they put them on sale for. So it is what it is on Amazon. But if you did want the print version, they do exist over there. How do you maintain your weight? So with weight, it really is about finding the appropriate amount of calories that you need for your body, and everybody's going to be very different. Obviously not under eating and obviously not overeating. So it's finding that appropriate amount of calories that covers your basic needs and your activity level so that you can maintain your weight. Also, lifting weights in the gym is super, super important. Building strong muscle is very, very essential, especially as we get older. And Nate and I, we started going to the gym probably about 4 months ago. And we've been really working on getting there regularly. And we're not obviously doing it for weight issues or anything like that. We're doing it for strength as we age, because I'm 44 now and I want to move into my later years with a strong base, because as we age, it's just inevitable. We decline in certain areas. So we want to start ourselves off with the best that we can, and to make sure that we're really strong and practice healthy movement so that we are more mobile when we get up there in age. But it starts today. Everything always starts today, no matter what age you are at. You can start now and start changing your habits, because they're going to benefit you when you change your habits to something healthier. Let's see, what do we have for questions? Any other questions? Hello, everybody. Does the ebook have all the single books in it? So I have multiple ebooks, but not one big giant ebook. So I have 21 ebooks currently, and you can get those in my ebook store by following the link in my bio. Or if you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. And right now, today only, until midnight New York time, you can get 60% off any or all of my recipe ebooks. After January 1st, midnight New York time, the code will go back to raw food 40, so you can still get 40% off if you miss the 60% off sale. But all of the ebooks, there is 21 of them, and we're writing new ones for this year. Really excited for some of the new stuff that's coming in 2024. We will be releasing our Alive Lunch, which is a 40-ish hour raw food kitchen course, kind of, where we make 21 different raw food recipes over 21 days. And it's pre-recorded, or it has been recorded, so you're getting the recordings. That's going to be released in the Vegan Health Bundle coming March 1st. So you're going to want to mark your calendars for March 1st. Come back to my page and click the link in my bio on March 1st if you want to get that bundle, because that course will be in there, as well as my ebook for the wraps is going to be in that bundle too. And we're going to put other things in the bundle as well. We haven't decided exactly what else we're going to add to that one, but that's coming in March. It's going to be really exciting. I'd like the link to the print version. If you want the link to the print version, it's in my bio, or you can send me a direct message. I can't share in the chat right now. I don't have the link. I'd have to leave the live to get the link. But if you want the link, send me a direct message and I can get that to you. No problem. It's on Amazon. What's your favorite dressing? Okay, this one changes all the time. I have so many favorite dressings. One of the dressings that kept me going when I first went raw was my French dressing. And for those, if you have a pen and paper, really quick, write it down. 5 dates, 2 cloves of garlic, the juice of 1 lemon, a little bit of apple cider vinegar if you want, and half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of chipotle powder. Blend that with about a cup of water. That's my absolute favorite dressing that I used nearly every day when I first went raw. Now I add a tablespoon of chia seeds to that dressing so that I get my omega-3s for the day. So that's a good bonus to make sure that you get your omega-3s. Very, very, very important. And I also really love miso Caesar. Nate and I have like a tahini dill. It's like tahini dill, lemon, apple cider vinegar, mustard powder, some other things in there too. That one's one of our favorites as well. It's a newer style recipe. I think I have one in my app. If you're interested in the app, there's a meal planning app, rawfoodromance.com. It's like $14.99 every 3 months to have access to that meal planning app. And there's like tons of new recipes in there as well. So lots of cool stuff, lots of recipes. It changes all the time. I have so many awesome, delicious recipes. The mustard sauce from the wrap book is one of my favorites. We've got like cashew ranch style dressings. The sweet maple mustard from Meal Plan 3 is so good. We had hemp teriyaki yesterday on our wraps while we were hiking. That one's in dips and dressings. But I do have a dips and dressings book, 117 dips and dressings in that recipe book. Again, link in my bio or in the description. What food do you recommend to minimize hair loss? Number 1 is not a specific food. Number 1 is to eat enough food. Because I found in the decade that I've been eating this way and helping people, the number 1 reason why people lose their hair is not specific foods. It's not enough food. They're under eating, they're restricting their calories, they're not getting enough variety, they're not eating enough variety of things. Like they're not adding loads of greens and lots of vegetables and root vegetables and sprouts and microgreens. Maybe they're eating too high or only fruit or very limited amounts of that, and they may be missing certain nutrients to have healthier hair, or they're under eating. That's probably the top reason, is because they're under eating. And anyone on any diet can lose their hair if they're not eating enough and they're not getting adequate nutrition. So minerals are super important. Greens, vegetables, sprouts, those are really great. Fruit as well. Fruit has minerals in it, not as much as to the extent of vegetables do, but having a really balanced, wide variety of different foods is going to be really helpful. And the second reason why people lose their hair, regardless of diet, is stress levels. So stress management is key. Some little things that you can do, like massaging your scalp, rosemary oil mixed with like jojoba is really helpful to stimulate circulation. You could do that as well, but really it comes down to eating enough and getting your stress levels on point. Obviously, there's tons of other reasons why people could lose their hair, and that needs to be investigated if the top two reasons aren't really a thing. So really got to investigate that. But as for food specifically, I'm not too into like, special foods for certain things. It's more of a variety of eating everything so that you get a broad nutrition for it. So I see a lot of people saying Happy New Year. Nicole's in here, Erin's in here. Mwah, I miss you guys so much. So good to see you. What is your favorite dress? I did answer that just recently. Again, it changes all the time because some days I have different favorites than other days. It just depends on the flavor that I'm kind of thinking about. Instagram be crazy. The studio changed your voice. Oh my gosh, did it change my voice? Which is best for sauces? So all the books, well, not all the books, but most of the books have sauces. Like the wrap book has matching sauces for the wraps. Each wrap recipe, there's 34 wrap recipes in here. Each wrap recipe comes with suggested filling recipes, sauces, and or spreads. So it's kind of like a big theme for each recipe. Like there's a pizza wrap, there's a buffalo ranch wrap. So it's got like the ranchy and the hot sauce. So there's tons of fun recipes. There's lots of sauces in here, but the one that I recommend the most, one of my most popular ebooks, is called Dips and Dressings, Plant-Based Dips and Dressings, and that has 117 different sauces and dips and things that you can add to salads or wraps or whatever you want. They're so delicious. And let's see, we have any other questions? Just scrolling through. Please leave this live up. All of my lives are always left up. They are in the Reels tab, in the video tab on my Instagram. Sometimes you have to scroll through my Reels to find the lives, but I will also be putting this on YouTube. So if you wanted to watch it again, you can watch it over there after I'm done. What dehydrator do you suggest to buy? So there's lots of different dehydrators on the market. We personally love our Excalibur 9 tray. We have 3 of them. Nate and I each had one when we got together, and Excalibur gifted us the 3rd one that we have. So we do have 3, and we love the 9 tray. That's our absolute favorite one. The tray size is 14 by 14 inches, so you can make the big size wraps. Each recipe makes 2 14 by 14 wraps. If you have a smaller dehydrator, like I think the Consori is a little bit smaller, or the 4 tray Excalibur is also smaller, you'll need the 10 by 12 trays, which makes 3 wraps, but they're smaller and they're rectangles. So they're a little different to wrap. I've never wrapped one rectangle before, but you can totally do it. I've seen people do it. But as for dehydrators, we recommend Excalibur 9 tray. We have model 3926TB. For those wondering, again, if you need any links or help to any of this, send me a DM. I'm more than happy to help get you the links or tell you that model again in DMs. I'm very happy to help if you need it. Let's see here. Are your wraps in the meal planning app? No, they're not. And the reason is because the meal planning app is 1 serving recipes only. So it's more like, it's simpler stuff like smoothies, salads, soups, that kind of thing that you can make. 1 recipe is 1 serving. Whereas the wraps are 2 servings or more, depending on if you eat anything else with it. Like you could have half a wrap, which would be 1/4 of a recipe with a salad. So the app doesn't account for making double batches or multiple servings. So that's why they're not in the app. And I won't be adding wraps to the app, nor the burgers either. So you definitely have to get the books separately, and then make the wraps, and then you could have other meals. But it really depends on your goals. If you need a meal planning app, the meal planning app is there for you, and then you could just make wraps on the side or as bonuses or whatever works best for you. You can do that, but they're not in the app, and they won't be in the app. They're more exclusive to their own ebook. Oh, good, Nicole. I'm glad my voice is back to normal. Where can we find your books and code? Okay, so right now until midnight, New Year's Day, which is today, the code is raw food 60, all capital letters, and that's only available again midnight tonight. So after that, it goes to raw food 40, back to the regular 40% off code that I always have. So if you are listening right now, if you want to get the 60% off code not Black Friday, but raw food 60, and that code you can use by following the link in my bio. There's a link to the ebook store. It's payhip.com/rawfoodromance, or you can find it in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. Is a good intro vegan meal? What's a good intro vegan meal? That's a really great question. It really depends on who you're making the meal for. If it's for yourself, what kind of flavors are you looking for? What kind of level of prep are you looking for? Because it's like super simple meals are just a bowl of fruit or a smoothie made with fruits. Those are pretty simple. Salads are really great intro meals as well. Get a really good raw vegan or vegan dressing to put on a really big, nice salad. You could make the wraps. I've made these for people. I made them for my dad, and he absolutely loved them. And he's not vegan, and he really liked it. But he's had a lot of my other meals, like the taco salad, and some chili. I made him a raw chili as well. So there's so many different recipes. It really depends on, again, who you're making it for, what kind of flavors are, desired, what style, salad, soup, because you can pretty much make anything vegan these days. Like, there's so many options. There's so many recipes out there, and anything will be a good intro meal because it's vegan and made of plants. Thank you so much. This will help my daughter. Oh, you're welcome. Do you state in your book how you and your family balance all the nutrition daily? So I don't have that in the wrap book or any of the recipe books, but you can check out my 52 to a New You ebook, which is a raw vegan transition guide where I go through tons of information in there. I talk about the gut microbiome, about nutrition, how to shop, how to prep, all kinds of stuff. Like, that's basically everything that I possibly could put into a transition guide in there. It's 300 pages and there's 47 recipes in there. Great for intro to raw recipes are in there as well. It's called 52 to a New You. And with this sale that's going on right now for New Year's, 60% off code raw food 60, you could get 60% off my 52 to a New You ebook. Link is in my bio or in my description box below if you're watching on YouTube. So I would say for the nutrition, I use Chronometer. I don't use it very much anymore because I've used it so often that I know what I need to get what I need. But using Chronometer in the beginning to track what you're eating, to see what you're eating, it's a learning tool. You get to learn about the foods that you're putting into your body. You get to learn about how much certain things are, like weight-wise versus calorie-wise, and how much nutrition is in certain things. So it's a really great tool to use to learn more about the foods that you're eating, to make sure that you get everything every day. Let's see. Happy New Year, everybody in here. This is awesome. I got an Excalibur dehydrator for Christmas and all the tools I need to make the wraps. Oh, it's so awesome. Jules, I'm really excited for you. I hope you enjoy the wraps. There's so many good ones in there. Where can I see this on YouTube? After this live, I will upload it to YouTube so all the YouTube people can get to watch this as well. I got your books in the bundles. Yes, the bundles are great ways to get our ebooks. There is another bundle coming this year for 2024. There is a vegan health bundle that's coming in March. So March 1st, that one will be available. There is a raw vegan bundle, all raw, which is coming in May. And then there's another plant-based bundle probably tabled for July. I'm not sure the exact dates yet, because I don't help organize that one. I'm just a contributor. So that one usually happens in July, and then there's usually another one over Black Friday. So there's 4 bundles happening this year. If you see any of them, they're all going to have different stuff in them, especially the vegan health bundle and the raw bundle. The raw bundle is going to be all exclusively brand new raw vegan content. So we're really, really excited for that one. And the vegan health bundle that's coming in March, that's going to have a ton of new content in it as well. So you're going to want to watch for those. But I'm so glad you got the wrap book. How can I DM you? I'm new to this. Okay, so anyone who is new to Instagram or doesn't know how to DM, go to my bio by clicking the link up here. And it'll take you to my main page. And on the main page, there's just a thing that says message, and that's a DM. A DM means direct message. So you're sending it to me only, and it's not a comment where everyone can read it. So that's how you do a DM if you want to send me a DM. And I can put links in there because I can't put links in comments on Instagram because you can't tap on them. So you got to send me a DM. Let's see what else we got in here. What are the benefits of red light therapy? I saw you using it. Do you recommend it? Thinking about buying one. I love red light therapy. I am a very strong believer in it, and I'll tell a little bit of a story with the red light. So way back when I was living in Canada, I was 38-ish. It was right before I moved to the United States to marry Nate. And for about the 7 months before I moved, me and Just the Plants Ma'am, who is in the chat, I love you, girl, we were doing hot yoga almost every day. We would go all the time to do hot yoga, Bikram. And I would go tanning across the street from where I was living. So I would go tanning, and then the girl was like, well, for an extra $20, you can get unlimited red light therapy. And I was like, yes, let's do that. So I added on the red light therapy, and I went red light full body probably 5 to 7 days a week for the 7 months that I was remaining in Canada. So I noticed that I used to have these kind of dirty spots on my skin where my acne scars had healed darker than my actual natural skin tone. So no matter what I did, it looked like my face was dirty, on the sides here. And it was, I didn't really like it. I mean, I love myself, obviously, but it was it was kind of a reminder of, how my skin was before, because I had cystic acne for most of my adult life, and it was just really frustrating. So I was going to the red light therapy just for fun. I wasn't doing it for any specific benefit. I was just going because it was bonus, and I got to take a nap because I would be in there for about 20 minutes. And when I got to the United States, I noticed that my skin tone had completely evened out. So I feel like I don't want to use error of attribution and say it was just the one thing. It was just the red light, because it could have been a combination of the hot yoga, helping my skin to release, the raw diet that I continued doing, or the red light. But I think the red light played a very, very big role in evening out my skin tone. And so when I moved here, obviously, then, world events happened, and we weren't going to places like that anymore. So I bought myself a little handheld red light from LightStim from Sephora. And I used that not often because I was totally out of routine. So I wasn't doing red light as often as I would have wanted to. I do it probably once a week or so. And I really wanted a mask because the little handheld, you had to move around your face. And I just wanted to relax and meditate. So I saved up over a year and a half to get the Artemis mask. And the reason I chose the Artemis one is because it had the most LED lights, and it also does colors, and you can customize it. So if you want red on your forehead for anti-aging, but you want blue maybe in your chin line because you break out down here, you can use blue for anti-acne. There's green, I think, for skin tone, yellow for inflammation. I'm not too sure what those specific ones do, but you can do violet, red light, blue light, green light, yellow light, and sky blue as well. So there's tons of different kinds in the Artemis mask, and that's the one that I got. I got it for myself for my birthday about a month ago. I turned 44. And so I've used it probably about 6 times since my birthday, just because we were so busy with Christmas and I didn't have time. But since getting back after Christmas and everything, I've been using it every single day. And I'm planning to use it a minimum of 4 to 7 days a week in 2024. So I'm really excited to see if there's any changes. If not, at least it's relaxing. I get to meditate. I throw on a guided meditation. But that's the one that I use, and it was expensive. I don't have an affiliate link for it. I just bought it because I did my research and that was the one that resonated with me most. There's tons of different masks on the market. You'll just have to do your research and make it work for your budget and what features you want. So yes, thank you everybody for sharing the link. Can you suggest a good soup to try? Have a raw vegan soup, or I've not had a raw vegan soup. So I have a soup book and it's called Lissa's Raw Soup, Stews, Curries, and Chilies. So there's tons of recipes in there. There's 77. And my personal favorite soup in there is the spicy ginger chicky soup. It is so good. It's kind of like a sweet and sour soup. So delicious. But there's so many soups in there that are really, really good. Like there's the hemp asparagus one in there too. Lots and lots of good ones. So if you wanted just one to start, I would say the spicy ginger chicky soup from my soup book. So delicious. And again, all of my recipe ebooks are 60% off with code RAWFOOD60. Link is in my bio. Yes, Chronometer is awesome. What's the code again? RAWFOOD60. RAWFOOD60 will get you 60% off. I purchased the vegan bundle last year. Will this year be all different? Yes, all the bundles are always different. There isn't one bundle. All bundles are always different. There's always different things in the bundles. So if you ever see a bundle, go to the website and scroll through and see all the stuff that you get, because they are always different. Sometimes there might be a couple repeats depending on the bundle, but usually there's a ton of new stuff in there that you might like. So it's always worth going to check out if you see a new bundle. Excalibur 3926TB. Yes, that's the dehydrator that we have, that we love, that we recommend. I do have a link to Excalibur in my bio, but you can always send me a direct message. Are there digital versions of your book? Yes, in my bio or at payhip.com/rawfoodromance. All of those are all digital ebooks. Is the burger and taco book all raw? What about the soups and stews winter book? Everything is raw. I am a raw vegan and all of my recipes are raw vegan, so you won't be cooking anything. You're going to be learning different kinds of food prep techniques and exploring different ways to prepare raw fruits and vegetables. So all of my ebooks are all raw, so you don't have to worry about that. They're also all oil-free and gluten-free as well, so if anyone has issues with those too, they're there. Thank you, Nicole. You're so sweet. Nicole, my moderator. I love you. Would the red light help with eczema or eczema? It can be. There's lots of research out there about red light therapy. I've heard that it can be beneficial to all different kinds of skin issues. So it really depends on what your issue is. And obviously diet is going to play a massive role in your skin health, as well as your omega-3 to 6 ratio, making sure you're getting the appropriate amount of healthy fats, the omega-3, which is really essential as well. So keeping that in mind as well. But red light therapy, I think, is really beneficial. Even if it doesn't heal, at least it's helping in some way, I believe anyways. But again, there's lots of research online. I'm sure you could Google, does red light therapy help with eczema or psoriasis or whatever skin issue you might have? I'm sure you can find some stuff. Can you address self-care at some point along the way in 2024? What would you like to know about self-care? I'd love to share. Nate and I have what we call Self-Care Sunday. Every Sunday, to the best of our ability. Sometimes we're not able to, but it's very few Sundays out of the year. But every Sunday, we plan a different hike. So it's a hike that we haven't done before, and we're going to continue doing this in 2024 because we had such a blast in 2023, always discovering new hikes. Like, we went on hikes that we probably never would have gone on. Like, we're like, that whatever. But when you're like kind of like pushing yourself to find new hikes every single time, you end up going on the hikes that you don't think you'd really go on. And you're like, why didn't we go on this one? It's so cool. So every Sunday we choose a hike. We make our wraps the night before. So we have wraps to take on our hike, or salad, or whatever we want to take as our little meal for our outing. We'll go do our hike. We enjoy our raw vegan food. We come home. I like to do my skincare. Like, I'll really do like a deep cleanse, maybe micro needling. I'll do obviously the red light therapy. I just really like to do a good mask, and then we'll sit in the hot tub because we have a hot tub here in our building. So that's a bonus too. And then we watch either a movie or our favorite show, and we have our favorite salad. Right now is the tahini dill. So we just make the day kind of ourselves, and we do all the things that we really love the most during that day. So that's what we are going to be continuing for 2024, because we had such a blast in 2023 doing that. We discovered so many awesome hikes that we like to take people on. Like, when we have friends come over, we're like, you got to do this hike. It's so amazing. So when is the raw bundle coming out? The raw bundle comes out in May. There's only one raw bundle, and it's only once a year, happening in May. So mark your calendars. Let's see what else we got in here. Are there veggies you don't eat because of being raw? Great question. So I wouldn't say there's very many. Maybe eggplant. But I do dehydrate eggplant. I'll marinate it in a sauce and dehydrate it a couple times a year. We'll make kind of like an eggplant bacon to put on our burgers, but it's super rare. We don't really do a lot of that. Eggplant, that's about it that I can think of. Maybe white potatoes. I don't eat any white potatoes. I do sweet potatoes raw in the wraps. I also like to freeze sweet potato and thaw it and blend it in a mash. That was a new recipe that I made for Christmas. It was like a butternut squash yam mash. It was so good. That's going in next year's holiday menu number 3. Holiday menu 3 will have that recipe. But as for things that I don't eat, I can't really think of much off the top of my head. We eat pretty much everything, like corn raw, broccoli raw, all kinds of stuff raw. You look amazing at 44, cousin. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, 44. Moving gracefully, embracing age. We have to embrace age. And we, like the whole ageism thing, like, oh, look, they have gray hair and they have wrinkles. I have wrinkles. And I've got where's my gray? There's a few little ones. It's part of it. It's part of being alive. And instead of shaming ourselves and each other by nitpicking all these little things, why don't we support our bodies through the aging process and support in whatever way we can with proper sleep and proper exercise and stress management and all these things that we know we should be doing, right? Support ourselves and love ourselves through it, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. And we need to really love our bodies as they are right now and as they will be in the future too. I'm not gonna look like I'm 20 anymore. So I'm gonna love 44. I'm gonna totally do my best to love my body the way it is. And I really hope that each one of you can love your bodies the way they are and support them through all the stages of your life, because I'm gonna go through menopause soon. I think I'm kind of on the verge of heading into perimenopause, because my periods are kind of getting a little bit different times. Like, I'm pretty regular with my periods being like a specific day. I use a tracking app in my phone to track, and I usually will bleed on the day that it suggests I'm going to bleed. So I'm pretty regular with that. But in the last, I would say, I don't know, maybe 6 months, I've noticed it's like a day or two off, which is not normal for my cycle that have been really regular for the last 9 years. So I know that I'm starting to head into that perimenopause realm. My mom went through it at a similar age to me, so I'm getting ready for it. I've actually started to incorporate raw maca powder into some of our smoothies, because that can help to support balanced hormones. That's the only thing that I've really done really done for preparing myself. And as I move through it, obviously I'll be sharing a little bit more on my social media as I experience different things. I could have a completely uneventful menopause. I could have symptoms. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to move through that stage of life. So, but that's just to share that a little bit. But thank you for the compliment. Gotta love being 44. Nate's going to be 47 in April. So we're getting up there, but it's all good. We're still babies. Self-care, personal for you, meditations, beauty, rest, etc. Oh yeah, so I did go over Self-Care Sunday, but also the red light therapy, I'm going to be incorporating more in 2024 that I'm going to pair with meditation. So guided meditation, I'll just lay in bed with the red light mask on and listen to the guided meditations. That's going to be a big part. And also working again on sleep, keeping consistent with going to bed at like 9 o'clock is really key, really key. I've kind of gotten a little out of that lately because of guests and traveling and all that, but we're going to get back on the sleep thing because it feels so good. It feels so good. I want to make the wraps. I haven't been vegan since I left California, and tomorrow is day 1. Awesome. I hope you enjoy the wraps. I hope you make tons of delicious vegan and raw vegan foods and support your body. Build that microbiome. That sounds so delicious. I haven't been raw vegan since I left LA almost 8 years ago, and I'm starting again tomorrow, day 1. I'm looking forward to making the wraps. Awesome. You've got a friend. Awesome. Great stuff. Great stuff. Love you. Rocco's asking me to do Taibo. Awesome. Love you, Nicole. Thanks for joining. Aw. So if not hiking, then a walk for self-care is healing from autoimmune. Walks are amazing. Walks are so amazing. Movement is amazing. And it can be anything. It can be yoga. It can be gentle stretching. It can be jumping on a rebounder or whatever feels good to you that you are able to do is going to be great exercise. Like lots of people will say like, what exercise should I do? And I'm like, whatever's going to get you to move. So any exercise is going to be good. Obviously I like weightlifting right now because I'm trying to build up my bone density, which is another thing that I would like to have more of moving into my later years through, starting menopause. That's really important. It's important to keep the bone density up, and weightlifting is really good for that. So that's another reason why Nate and I have started going back to the gym, because we want to help to prevent as much as we can. And remember, prevention doesn't mean never get. It means doing the best of our ability to avoid. Awesome. Raw at 76, but dealing with autoimmune 76. That's awesome. And yeah, it's all about supporting your body as best you can. So doing all those little things and changing your habits is going to be so great. Is the code printed on printed books or digital? So the printed books do not take the code because Amazon isn't my company. So sadly, I can't give sales for Amazon at all because it's their company. They choose the sales. I don't have anything to do with the sales. So the Raw Food 60 is only available on eBooks. Plus, there's no way that we could print this for 60% off. There's no way. Because the royalties are only some dollars off each printed version. I don't make a lot off the print ones, like maybe $10 per, it's like $9 per print version that I make off those. So it's not a lot. We're not able to do bigger discounts. And if Amazon does a discount, that's their choice. And they usually do it based on algorithm. So the more people who buy the print book, the cheaper it gets because they can print more, which costs less. So they put it on sale for people if there's multiple orders being produced. It's kind of how their sales algorithm works. But yeah, unfortunately, the code does not work for that. What was that for balancing hormones? Well, there's a lot of different things for balancing hormones. The thing I mentioned was maca, M-A-C-A, and I get raw maca powder. You can send me a DM and I can send you a link to the one that I buy. We just add a scoop of it to more, I would not the fruity smoothies, but like a chocolate smoothie. We like to add it because it has kind of like a butterscotchy style, earthy flavor to it. It's really interesting, but we like to add it to the cacao or the carob smoothies because it's kind of along those kind of flavor lines. But yeah, send me a DM if you want the link to the maca maca powder, but there's so many other things that can help balance hormones. There's lots of different products out there and herbs that you could take. I'm not quite there yet if I choose to take any herbs. It really depends on how my body goes through it, and I'll make decisions based on how I'm feeling and what's going on. Self-care Sunday for me is like exercise self-care. Yes, self-care Sunday for the win. Or any day that you have off. Your day off is self-care day. Do you eat at certain times when you work out? So I eat when I'm hungry. I don't plan, I don't time meals. I'm not into like the whole intermittent fasting or eat before whatever time. I don't do any of that. I listen to my body, and my body wants the food, so I give it the food. But as for ballpark, we usually, like the best days are when I get up, I eat fruit first thing, and then we go to the gym. And then when we get back from the gym, we have a big smoothie, or we have a smoothie usually ready for us in our truck because we have a cooler in the truck. So we make the smoothies before we leave so we can drink them when we're done the gym. Then we have a big salad for lunch, usually around noon-ish. And then we have our dinner usually around 5-ish. Sometimes it's 9. It really depends on what's going on with our life, but we don't restrict or have time windows or anything like that. So try to get a lot of our calories, half our calories we try to get in before noon. So like maybe 1,000 or 1,200 calories before noon. That's the goal. That's when we feel the best. So let's see what else we got here. Any other questions? Just scrolling through. You have beautiful white teeth. What is your dental care routine? Thank you very much. I use... what is it that I use? The Magic Mud toothpaste. Lately I had like this remineralizing toothpaste that I found on Amazon, but it wasn't in English, so I don't even really know what it was, but I used it. It was a remineralizing toothpaste. I really like the remineralizing toothpaste idea. I think that's really beneficial, but brush, just the regular stuff. Brush twice a day, rinse after every meal. I've always had really white teeth. So I don't really do anything specific to have them white. They just are kind of naturally the way they are. But yeah, rinsing after meals is probably my biggest top tip for dental care, because it's not the sugar that erodes your teeth. The sugar feeds bacteria, and the bacteria produce their byproducts, which is acidic, and it's the acidity that wears away the enamel. So making sure you rinse your mouth out with clean water a few times after your meal is a great way to keep any debris or sugar or anything out of your mouth. So it helps to prevent cavities. Obviously, we can't prevent them 100% all the time, but we can definitely try. Are you still looking at holding retreats? Oh, vegan cherry on top. We are. We haven't talked about it this year. Nate and I need to kind of sit down and go through like exactly what we plan to do for the year. We haven't done that yet. That's on our list of things to do, is to plan our year. But we do want to have a retreat. Not sure if it'll be this year. It might. It might be next year though. So it really depends. We have to sit down and talk about our schedules and what we plan to do this year. But if we do, it'll probably be around $4,000 to $5,000 per person. It'll be here in Vegas. We would rent out kind of like a big mansion type place so everyone can come. We would really have to work through logistics. That's why we haven't decided if we're going to do it yet, because we may need to buy more dehydrators, buy more blenders. So it might be a little bit of an investment to do. But we want to make it an immersion. So we might make 1 or 2 meals for you guys, but anyone who comes to the retreat is going to get an immersive experience where they are going to make the food. We're going to take you shopping. We're going to show you the things, and we're going to help you to make it yourself. So when you leave the retreat, you can make everything yourself at home. You learn the stuff, because a lot of retreats, it's nice. It's wonderful. It's a great idea to go and relax and have all your food made for you. But then when you get home, you don't know how to make that food, and you want to make that food. So we want to teach you how to make them, make it more immersive. But hopefully we can do one this year. If we do, it might be like in the September range area time. I don't know yet. But if not, we'll definitely be doing one next year. So hopefully. My man is afraid to go raw because he fears he will lose weight. What do you say to him to ease his fears? Great question. So number 1, he has to eat enough. That is key. If you are not eating enough calories, then you can lose too much weight. So it's super, 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 super important that he eats enough food. So making sure he's not skipping meals, he's getting bigger salads, he's getting more food, because raw foods are very low calorie density, and you need to eat more of them to get the appropriate amount of calories that you need to sustain yourself and your activity level that you do during the day. So making sure that you eat enough is key, 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 and having a wide variety of different things keeps things interested, makes like different recipes can help to keep it interesting as well. But yeah, the main reason people lose weight is because they eat too little, they skip meals, they're not eating enough volume at every meal, or they do too many like detoxes or cleanses, or get too limited with the kinds of foods that they're eating, and they're just eating too little. I mean, like, our salads are huge. They're pretty massive salads, but we do that because we need to get the calories, and raw foods are lower calorie density. Fruit is a great thing to eat when someone's hungry. Just grab some fruit and eat that, but also to make sure that they're getting enough fruits or vegetables, greens, sprouts, that kind of thing too is really good to have good balance. I hope that answers. And if I miss anyone's questions, or you have further questions about your question that maybe I didn't cover, send me a DM. I'm more than happy to chat in DM with you, because that's my job, is to help people add more raw food to their diets. That's my passion. I love it. I'm so excited. Just bought the bundle. Just need to get my dehydrator. Awesome. Awesome. So excited for you. That's good. Thanks for that. You're welcome. So glad I could help. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Again, if you have any questions, I'll be here for a few more minutes, I guess, to answer anything. Or, I mean, if we get into a conversation, I might be here for longer. But we have no more questions in the chat. So I just want to remind everybody that today is the last day to get 60% off our eBooks, the digital eBooks. You can find the link in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching the replay on YouTube. payhip.com/rawfoodromance, and use code rawfood60 to get 60% off any or all of our ebooks. If you were looking for the wraps, the burgers, the tacos, meal plans, soups, all kinds of stuff, we've got tons of things. I also have my raw vegan transition guide. It's called 52 to a New You, that helps you to transition over to a vegan and then a raw vegan diet, and also has tips and ideas to help improve your life further. It's 52. It's a great thing to start right now, because it can be done over 52 weeks, which would be a whole year. So this is a perfect time to start. That, again, is called 52 to a New You. It's also 60% off with code rawfood60. Link is in my description or in my bio to get any of those ebooks. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year to you too. What's the best way to grow micro? I'm assuming microgreens. My husband Nate at Raw Natty Nate has a microgreens course. You can DM me. I can send you the link to go grab that. They're also 60% off. His microgreens course is 60% off, so you can go grab that. He teaches you how to grow multiple different types of microgreens. He has a list of all the tools that you'll need to grow them. Our favorite is like broccoli. The best way to grow them would be in a tray, a double tray. So the top tray has holes for the water to drip through, and the bottom tray has no holes to hold the water. You just put soil in, sow the seeds, and my husband's going to be sharing a lot of microgreen content coming in 2024. So go follow him at Raw Natty Nate. If you need, his link is in my bio on Instagram, so you can go find him and grow some microgreens. They're so much fun. Do you drink any hot drinks like coffee or tea? Tea, I will have once in a while, herbal. So like raspberry leaf tea or something hibiscus or whatever, but it's super, super rare. And not because I think tea is bad or anything. I'm not a tea person. I've always wanted to be a tea person my whole life, but I've never been a tea person. I make tea and then I don't drink it, and then it just sits there. So I'm just not a tea person. And as for coffee, I'm not a coffee fan either. So no coffee here. Do ahead storage tips for burgers, taco meat, and hand salad patty fillings. So what we like to do to prep in advance, we just make the food and then we store them in containers, usually with like holes on the top lid so that it can breathe, so it doesn't get too moist inside, because I don't like the sogginess from that. So that's helpful. The taco meat and the burger patties, we do that with. The wraps we'll make in advance, and we put those in between parchment paper in an unsealed Ziploc bag. And I have links to all the stuff in my hand salads ebook. I also explain hand salad wrap storage in the ebook as well. I have so much information in the ebook. I went through everyone's top questions and I answered them all in the ebook. So if you have the ebook, grab it, open it, and read all the FAQs. So that's how we do it when we're traveling. We will peel them off the silicone tray, put them in between parchment that we just keep reusing, and they go inside an unsealed Ziploc bag, because when you seal it, condensation happens, and they get too soft, and kind of maybe sometimes they'll get soggy. So we don't like soggy wraps, but that's kind of what we do. Do you and Nate also dabble with sea moss gel? Yes, we do. In my appetizer book, Party Food, I have multiple recipes that ask for sea moss, and we do sea moss. I haven't made any recently just because the holidays have been really busy. We've been traveling a lot, so we want to get back into adding more sea moss gel in our smoothies and in our dressings. It's a really great ingredient, and it's really fun to play with because it kind of has like that jelly-like texture. And our friend Daniel, enzyme.333 here on Instagram, he's got really cool raw vegan corn dogs that he makes with Irish moss. They're so good. We definitely have to make those soon. Raw food for weight loss, please. All right, so that's a big question, and I would prefer to chat in DM because I need to ask a lot of questions of like, what are your goals? Why are you trying to lose weight? What do you currently eat? All kinds of questions. But for weight loss, it's mostly eating enough. Make sure that you eat enough food. So important. Eat enough. No calorie restriction. We want to eat enough calories for the body, and exercise, and keep it low fat. Because when we keep things low fat, I'm not talking no fat. I'm against no fat diets. But when we keep it low fat, around 10 to 15% total calories coming from whole food fats, not oils, then our body, our insulin works better. And when we eat enough, our metabolism goes up. So when you undereat, your metabolism is downregulated. So you store more and you're not burning as much. So you want to make sure you eat enough, and you want to keep your diet low fat, and just eat abundance. Eat abundance. And, weightlifting, exercise, that's all good stuff too. Let's see what we got in here. We have any other questions? On my way to Chris's house for dinner. Yeah, Enzyme is in the house. We need to make your corn dogs. Have fun at Chris's. Say hi to us or say hi to him from us. Do you use salt at all? Belinda, we don't add salt to anything that we eat. We use miso, which is a whole food sodium, and the soy in the miso actually counteracts the sodium in the miso. So that's a really cool bonus to miso. So we use miso almost every single day. It's a fermented food. It's good for the gut microbiome. And we also use coconut aminos, which is fermented coconut tree sap. And it's kind of got some sodium in there too, but we don't add salt to our food. We just use those two ingredients to get a little bit more sodium into our food. And if I do no salt, like if I cut salt out completely, I get too low blood pressure. So I don't do the no salt. Miso is perfect for me. Just having a little bit of miso every day is awesome. My wraps have been taking really long time in the dehydrator, and in the middle seems not done. Edges are definitely are. Do you think my dehydrator is working properly? Great question. So I addressed this, I believe, in the book. You might need to let them go for longer. So there's few factors that can come into play depending on the tray size that you have and depending on your dehydrator. Those two factors can play a role. If you also have too many things in your dehydrator, everything's going to take hours longer. So what we've noticed is if we use 2 trays in our 9 tray, they take about around 10 to 12 hours to dry. But if we have 4 trays in our 9 tray, they take about 18 to 20 hours to dry. If we have all 8 trays going, they take like 30 hours. So it really depends on how much you have going on in your dehydrator. It depends on how old your dehydrator is. If it's actually pumping out the proper temperature, you want to make sure that that's going on there. But yeah, also the tray size. If you are overfilling your trays because you didn't weigh the ingredients, or if you have the smaller trays and you're trying to fit it on 2, that's going to be far too much for those trays. So I need to know a little bit more details. Again, you can send me a DM with more details, like what dehydrator you have, what trays you have, did you weigh the ingredients? Like, there's a lot of questions to ask. So send me a DM and we can maybe figure that out. But they should only take between 10 to 16 hours to dry the wraps. Yeah. So am I able to make the wraps without a dehydrator? Sadly, no. These wraps were formulated to be made in a dehydrator. Any temperature above 115 degrees Fahrenheit will turn them into crackers. One time we had our dehydrator accidentally on 145. I think when I put the trays on, it moved the dial and it went to 145 or 150 degrees. And when they were done, they were so hard. I was like peeling them off and they break like crackers. So they need to be done at 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And you need a dehydrator for that. I know there's some machines out there, like some air fryers have a dehydrator option. But the smaller the space, the longer they take because there's not enough airflow. That's why I recommend the bigger dehydrators. There's much more airflow and things dry a lot faster in the bigger dehydrators. So yeah, you can't make them in an oven. You need a dehydrator, but you can find good used ones. I've heard some really great stories. I've heard people finding used 9 tray dehydrators for like $30, which is crazy awesome. That's like such a great deal. Obviously few and far between, but usually used ones run for around $80 to $120. It's definitely cheaper than new, but those are some options as well. I'm waiting on my Excalibur to arrive Friday. Awesome, uncommon vegan. Do you have recommendation for a wrap to get in the store as I wait? Oh, to buy in the store. You know, I've just never been a fan. I mean, the only ones that I would probably get would be the Cocoa by Nuco, but I'm not too much a fan of the coconut wrap. Necessarily. They are okay, but if you're really gonna go with anything wrappy, I would do nori sheets. Make like nori vegetable rolls. That would probably be my suggestion. Isn't raw chia seeds bad because of the swelling? I don't think so. We use chia every single day. Chia seeds are amazing source of omega-3 essential fatty acids. So is flax seeds. If you're worried about the swelling, because they do absorb water, but they gel up. They gel more. They're really soothing on the intestinal tract, and they provide the body with those essential omega-3s. I prefer my chia ground up first before using it so that you get those essential oils. And drink more water if you're worried. But yeah, let's see what else. We'll give him a big hug for you. Thanks, Daniel. Awesome. Big hug to you too from both Nate and I. Oh, we love you guys so much. Awesome. Do we have any other questions? Ooh, there's here. Instagram Tara. Hello, darling. When I made my wrap, I think I didn't spread well enough. The edges were too thin and the batter pooled in the middle and didn't dry the edges. Interesting. Yeah, it's very, very important to make sure that you spread it very evenly. That's why I recommend using an offset spatula, because they're really long and you can kind of get more space when you're spreading it onto the tray. So offset spatula is a really great idea, and anyone can DM me if they want a link to the one that we have. Those are really great. Is Nate doing the Ninja Creamy ice cream book for the raw bundle this year? So Nate is doing the creamy book, but it's not going to be in the raw bundle. It's going to be in the vegan health bundle that's coming in March. So he's working on that right now. There's going to be about 20 recipes in that. Enzyme says Lissa's wraps seem to be the best. Thanks, Daniel. Crossing my fingers for a meetup this year. Ooh, so if all goes well if all goes well, there might be a meetup with Chef AJ on May long weekend, if all goes well. So we're planning to go visit Chef AJ May long weekend, like the 27th, I believe, that weekend. And she wants to plan a big meetup at a restaurant that could serve raw as well. So we'll see how that goes. If we do plan that, hopefully that happens. I will let everyone know in my stories. So anyone in that area is more than welcome to come. But that would be super, super, super cool if we could do that. It would be really cool to do one in here in Vegas as well. But yeah, I'm gonna do a California one. That would be really cool. But yeah, so thank you everybody so much for all your questions. This was such a fun live. Obviously want to do more lives in 2024. You can get the print version. I'm going to be doing a giveaway, by the way, of a print version coming soon, because I have the print versions here and I want to sign some to give away. But that contest I'll announce probably in the next couple of weeks. And you can buy the print version on Amazon. Link is in my bio or in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. And you can get 60% off any or all of the raw vegan recipe ebooks, but only until January 1st, midnight New York time. So there's right now from this live, there's like 4 or 5 hours left to get that. 5 hours, I think, 5.5 to get that if you're watching. If you missed it, though, you can get 40% off. It'll go back to the regular 40% with code RAWFOOD40. Link is in my bio for the ebooks and the print versions and in the description box below. The code does not work on the print versions, only on the digital. So grab those digital ebooks. Finish your raw food romance collection if you needed a couple extra books, but thank you, thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. You're so welcome. With respect, awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. This has been awesome. We'll be back for another one. Have a wonderful, amazing, epic, healthy, abundant 2024. I love you, and I'll see you soon.